Passive income investing with Better Call Paul. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as financial, investment, or trading advice. All investments involve risk and you should do your own research or consult with a licensed financial professional before making investment decisions.
Hey everyone, it's Paul here on my channel, Better Call Paul. In today's video, I want to talk to you about some of the moves I've been making recently in preparation for 2026. So with 2025 coming to an end, I've been trying to streamline my portfolio, bringing it down so far from about 45 positions to 37, and I'd like to bring that down even more. I've been trying to reduce my risk to single stock ETFs, and especially to some fund managers such as Yield Max. So I've been strategically going through my portfolio and getting rid of some of the ETFs. Now, in some cases, they're ETFs that were actually doing well, but I took advantage of the opportunity to sell at a gain, take those profits, and move the money into something that I consider to be safer, but also paying an equal or higher distribution. But then I've also had to bite the bullet on a few positions where I've sold out of, for example, TSPY from Yield Max, where I may have been a little bit in the green or a little bit in the red. But when you consider the fact that I've been holding on to this position for a couple of years, breaking even is not the goal. So anyways, today I want to talk about an ETF that I plan on carrying into 2026. And I haven't bought any since August. So I think it's time to start adding to this position. So I'm going to go over the position that I have, when I started buying it, where it's at today, and maybe give you a bit of an idea as to why I want to continue adding to this position and keep building it up. And I guess, in some cases, people tend to sell their winners, right, and keep adding to their losers. So I'm trying to do the opposite in this case. Okay, so today we're going to talk about TSPY. It's the TAP Alpha SPY Growth and Daily Income ETF. TSPY is actively managed, aiming to provide a balanced approach to growth and income from U.S. large cap equities. The fund holds long exposure to the S&P 500 index and writes daily out-of-the-money calls using 0 DTE options. So the inception date was August 14th of 2024, and now has 160 million assets under management. And I started buying it March 4th of 2025. And I stopped buying it on August 22nd, 2025, once I reached 500 shares. The reason I stopped buying was because I was going to start building up my position in their second fund, which is TDAC. And I'm currently at 200 shares of that one. So I'll be buying that as well in 2026. So I started receiving dividends back in March of 2025. And I think the first dividend I got was just over $14, and then was $21 and $28 and so on, as I was adding more shares. But I finally reached the 500 shares in August. So my next distribution after that was $146. But you can see I've put here the last 3 months, which is October, November, December. You can see they're very close, right? 150.10, 151.53, and 150.44. So basically the last 3 months, it's paid just over 30 cents. And I like that consistency. I hope it continues to do that. So here we are in my Wealth Simple account. You can see that currently all time I'm up 92%. At one point this year, I was up about 108 or 109%. So my portfolio has come down a bit with some of my ETFs that are currently struggling. So let's jump into my RSP account. We'll find TSPY. Okay, so here is TSPY. You can see that in the past year, it's only up 0.35%, which is not great. But what I like is that you can see that it started the beginning of the year here, and at 25, just over $25, and then in April, it dipped down into the low 20s, right? I think, high 20s, dipped down to the high 20s, but it's managed to fully recover. Okay, so at one point it was a little over $26, and now it's at $25.75. So although it hasn't grown a lot this year, it's managed to recover. So when you talk about covered calls, capturing all of the downside, but not all of the upside, and that they never recover. So you can see this one at least has been able to recover to back to where it was. So the important part for me is that I got mine at 24.40, and I'm currently up 5.54%. But really the important part is the monthly distribution, right? So we're getting just over 13% 12-month yield. So it's a trailing 12-month yield. If you go into TSPY's website, I just want to show you guys starting back in 2024. Their first distribution was 29 cents, and then it went up to 27 cents and 29 cents, 29, 29, 29 again, 27, 28, 28, 28, 29. So you guys kind of getting the point what I'm trying to make here. 29 again, and then it went up to 30. So now it's just over 30 cents, but it's been very consistent. So the NAV has been stable, the share price has been stable, and it's been able to pay out this monthly distribution. So if you wanted to try, say, living off of an ETF like this, I think you would do well and maintaining your share price and maintaining a consistent monthly income. So guys, for myself, I'm trying to get away from the high yielders, right? We've all been sort of seduced in the past by the high yielders, chasing high yields, and unfortunately learning the hard way with some of the funds from Yield Max and a few other providers that unfortunately the NAV erosion has been so bad that the stock price has dropped so much. And as a result, so has the monthly income. And so I would like to avoid that moving forward. Right? I was able to build up my monthly income to just over 10,000 in 2025. Right, I started the year about 7,000, built it up to about 10,000, and I want to be able to maintain that moving forward. Right, I'd like to see it grow slowly, but the most important part is I'd like to see it maintain itself, and my portfolio balance to maintain itself and possibly grow a little bit, right? That would be ideal. So I think an ETF like TSPY is going to help me with that. So what I plan on doing, it's in my RSP, so I'm not using this money at the moment, but what I plan on doing starting in January is just taking the $150 that I receive from TSPY and reinvesting it. So just buying more shares of TSPY and see how quickly that will compound and grow as I add shares to my position. So guys, what are your plans for 2026? Do you have any particular ETFs you want to add more to? Are you doing like myself and trimming some of the losers from your portfolio, trying to streamline a little bit? Are you taking on new positions? Like, have you bought any new holdings recently? Or anyways, yeah, just let me know down in the comments what you've been doing. I love it when you guys leave me comments and let me know what you've been doing. And sometimes I get comments where people really agree with my strategy, and other times I get people who disagree and are doing something completely different. So that's fine. So just let me know what your suggestion is for 2026, and I'll definitely take it into consideration. For those of you who watch a lot of my videos, you know that Sean and I started buying XEQT and FEQT. So, I'm not restricted in my investment ideas. You know what I mean? I've bought dividend growth stocks in the past. I've bought growth funds before. And, so we're doing it again. We buy weekly. I buy XEQT every Monday, and Sean's buying FEQT every Monday. And, hopefully that will also help build my portfolio and maintain the NAV and all that sort of stuff. But anyways, guys, please don't take this as me trying to tell you to buy TSPY. Okay, I'm not trying to pump up the price of TSPY. I'm not trying to pump and dump, TSPY. My plan is to hold on to it, collect the dividends, buy more shares, keep growing that. And eventually, when I have the opportunity to, I'll move that money into my tax-free savings account where I can withdraw the funds without paying any tax and, and live off the income. All right, guys. So yeah, this is not financial advice. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Not sponsored by Tap Alpha. I think Sai Katera is a great guy. I'll link my interview with him to this video if you want to watch it. I think he's very intelligent and he explains very clearly the strategy. And either you like what he says and you believe in it, or you don't. So it's up to you to decide whether or not this works for your investment needs. All right, guys. So it's December 23rd. I wish everybody Merry Christmas in a couple of days from now, and happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. I hope everybody, is healthy and has a lot of fun with their family over the holidays. All right, guys. So until the next video, bye for now.